Welcome to the ASA podcast, where we focus on subcontractors, the construction industry, and the issues and people making an impact. The ASA podcast is brought to you by the American Subcontractors Association and the Foundation of the American Subcontractors Association. Hi, everyone. Welcome back again to another episode of the ASA podcast with Mike Oscar again today to talk about building and maintaining relationships with Congress. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you again, Mike. And yes, maintaining those relationships with members of Congress on both sides of the aisle is extremely important. If anyone's ever really had a chance to understand our legislative priorities, you'll see that they're mainly non-ideological priorities, meaning that they are not necessarily issues that would be above the fold in the newspaper, but they're issues that are very important to subcontractors, just like prompt payment, retainage reform, bid listing, mechanics lien, anti-indemnification. All those issues are contractual issues. And that goes to the heart of why I say they're non-ideological, but they are very, very important to our members' bottom line. And so we work with, in a bipartisan manner, oftentimes in a bicameral manner, working with both the House and the Senate to find ways in which we can get to the sweet spot or compromise. I know oftentimes people outside of the Beltway hear the word compromise and think it's a bad word or a nefarious word. I don't agree to that. I believe that in order to find a little room for negotiation allows our issues to move forward. One of the ways we've done that is advise the Construction Procurement Caucus, which is led by Congressman Stolberg, Pete Stolberg from Minnesota, Republican, and Congresswoman Slotkin, a Democrat from Michigan. And we sit down with them and their staff, along with many other members. There's about 17 outside industry organizations that advise the Construction Procurement Coalition. They're actually a part of a larger umbrella organization on the industry side called the Construction Procurement Industry Coalition. The CIPC, ASA, has been a longstanding member of that coalition for many, many years, and we work with them in hand in glove. And many of you may or may not be aware of this, but we work with the AGC. AGC and ASAs have been aligned on a lot of different issues. Some issues like bid listing, we may have a little consternation, but 9 times out of 10, we're on the same page. And the reason for that is not because we're compromising our principles just quickly between us and general contractors, is because contracts are, the word contract is ubiquitous or contractor, I should say, excuse me. The word contractor in a contract is ubiquitous. It doesn't always determine whether a contractor is a prime or a sub or a second tier sub. So because of that, it forces us to work very closely with the AGC. But working with these members of Congress to get back to the heart of the question in a bipartisan manner, giving them good information, giving them real-time information, allowing us to meet with them, not only through me, but also bring our contractors in. We've had many successful fly-ins over the last 5 years where our members have met with the relevant committee staff, like the House Small Business Committee or the Armed Services Committee or the Foreign Affairs Committee or the Transportation Related Committee or the Ed and Workforce Committee, the Environment and Public Works Committee, even the Ways and Means Committee when it comes to tax related issues. But we come in and we develop that rapport. And one of the things that I believe that ASA has been very strong on is giving good, reliable information, and that's credible right from the subcontractor's mouth to their ears, and that has had a tremendous impact on influencing policy and regulatory reforms as they move forward.
So it sounds like you are constantly busy. This is a year-round effort, I imagined.
Yes, it is, and we're getting ready right now for an upcoming election. So what that means for me, in a very simplistic way, is 435 members of the House are up for re-election. Over 35 senators are up for re-election, and we have a presidential election, which will impact what the administration might look like. Simply put, I got a lot of new friends to make in the new year, but I work with the friends I have in the past and the friends I'll make in the future to figure out the sweet spot in order to help out our subcontractors move forward.
Well, thanks, Mike. Is there anything else that people ought to know about how you go about building these relationships and how they might get involved in helping you out?
One final point, and we can discuss this in length at another time, but I think it's a good opportunity for us to just give a very basic example of this to keep it simple for our listenership. But the inverse of that is once you develop that rapport with staff and with members of Congress, oftentimes I do get called upon by members of Congress. I've actually had instances where a member of Congress who had a prompt payment issue for minority subcontractors in the Fort Worth, Dallas area actually called me directly on the ASA phone line. I actually thought it was a joke, but it was actually a very serious matter. And when I say a joke, I actually didn't realize it was actually a member of Congress, but he had a concern. And because ASA is at the top of the alphabet and it directly addressed subcontractors, he called. And we were able to resolve that issue. We took down to Fort Worth. Actually, our past president, Brian Carroll, who actually practices law in Texas, not too far from that area in Austin, Texas, and was able to meet with him with other subcontractors from 2 of our 5 chapters in Texas to meet with the congressman and address those issues. He's also now a co-sponsor to our change order bill, the Small Payment and Performance Act. And he also serves on the House Construction Caucus. So there's a great example of where it not only helps us, but it also helps them because there is a generational gap for many members of Congress who may not understand or have any sort of working relationship with construction. And what the example I just provided really gets to the heart of that.
Excellent. Excellent.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for the update today. And I look forward to doing more of these episodes with you.
So do I. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Mike. Thank you for listening to the ASA podcast. For more subcontractor-focused content, visit us at asaonline.com and fastcares.org. You can also follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.